Borough fans, hello and welcome back to season 7 on the Stevenage Football Club podcast. As you can see in the title, episode 43. And today's episode on the Stevenage Football Club podcast is titled Error, because it was a game of errors, wasn't it, on Saturday in our 3-1 defeat away at Wycombe Wanderers. But you know what, guys? I'm sticking my flag in the floor for this team. I love these players. I love this manager. We're 8th place. Look at all the teams we're still above. Only 4 points on the playoffs. 14 to go. I'm sticking by him. Brother, thank you. And hello, if you are tuning in on YouTube. Again, guys, make sure to give us a follow, like, and a subscribe. If you are listening on all the audibles, a massive hello to all of you. Hopefully your Monday mornings are going brilliantly. Make sure to give us a follow and a like on all the audibles, Spotify, etc. And also, guys, go and tune into our instant reaction videos. We've got 4 out at the minute from our last 4 matches. And as I've kind of been telling people today, if you want to go and watch the angriest man alive on those instant reaction videos, make sure to tune in. Get your popcorn, settle down for 70 minutes. You'll be choking on your popcorn, let's say. It is a fantastic and a funny watch. And I really quickly, I just want to start really quickly. Have we cooled down yet? Has it been a relaxing Sunday for you? Do you feel back to normal now, or?
I'm calmer than what I was, but I can't guarantee that
You were
it will stay.
steaming yesterday.
He
Do
was.
it-
I've never
Like
seen that.
I said it to you off the pod. The reason why I get so annoyed is because we all spend good money, we spend time, effort, planning how to go to watch the boys play, and then you go and play like that, and you see
I
a
get it.
subpar performance,
I get
and
it.
it if we're honest, that wasn't a Stevenage performance. That wasn't all the things that we say that we are. It just wasn't. And I think it just annoyed me so much. And then,
I think as well, Anne, like where I get your annoyance is we know, we know our squad, we know we're a top half League One team. So when you see them lose like that, it's frustrating.
You know
there's
how
that
we,
as well,
you know how
because,
good we are. You know how we can achieve
Yeah,
stuff.
but
we know how
I
great we
said that, I said it again off the start of the season where we went on that amazing run. I'm sitting there going, well, that's like our top bit, and we could probably break through that ceiling. And we're playing to what, 25% of that ability? I'm sitting there going, what have we done? Just gone off. All right, we're safe now. Really?
Yeah, and I understand that because 8 wins in 10. What an unbelievable start to this massive season that was. And obviously people have that expectancy. So I completely get why you're frustrated. I get it. I get it. But you know what, guys? I'm backing them. I'm sticking by them. 8th place, top 10. If someone would have said that prior to Blackpool and the big opening kickoff in Spain, in Torrevieja, when the fixtures come out, I would have cried. I'm buzzing.
Right, Farley, that year where we had more managers than we did wins,
Yeah.
did you stick by that side?
I stuck by them, but I knew the inevitable. Do you know what I mean? This team's different, Anne. I'm sticking by them. I'm sticking by. You do not win 8 games in 10. You do not beat Stockport away 3-1. Play the way that we did at Cardiff. Play the way that we did at Oxford. We're not one of the top half League One teams. And you know what? I'm sticking by them. I'm sticking by them. They're gonna be fine. Just look at Anne's face. Just learned it all before. Heard it all before. But no, Anne, to go along with what you were saying, mate. No, I understand. Understand. How are you, boys? All good? Good Sundays?
Better than Saturdays.
Ooh, that was one way to put it. That was
At
one.
least Arsenal won the North London derby
That's true. Actually, what was it 3-1 in the end, wasn't it?
4-1.
Or was it 4? It was 4.
Yeah, Gyökeres got a second
Oh,
right
blimey.
at the death.
So Arsenal were nearly there then. Oh my god, it's interesting, isn't it?
At least some of the family will be happy.
Yeah, yeah. No 8 irons tonight. No, my Sundays. Well, it's race day for me this day next week. I've got my first race of 2026, so I'm preparing for that. Actually, it's really funny. Actually, so when we obviously have the massive game against Stockport on Saturday, doing our instant reaction, which will go down a hit again, once again, let's say, and then I'm driving to Great Yarmouth, staying over, and then got my race, then coming back. So I've got busy one. So that Nando's and. Just saying, it will
Can't wait.
Luca, you should get on it. We should get Luca on it. We should get Luca.
Yes.
Yeah. Good old Nando's next week. That'd be good. I miss the Nando's. I haven't had Nando's in ages.
You can never go wrong with Nando's. It's very like you just know what you're gonna get.
Really quickly,
You know what I mean?
before we get in, what's your Nando's order?
I go,
Sorry, is this a food podcast that we've turned into?
which would hang around because the Idiot of the Week's a good one this week. I'm sure you'll get a few giggles.
Oh, are we throwing it in with Nando's? Are we? Or
No, I think let's a bit later on just to lighten the mood.
What idiot would you have a Nando's with? That's the
Oh,
question.
It's a
That's a
great.
great question.
Oh dear mate, that's a fantastic question.
Who would I like to sit down with and have a Nando's? And I just ask, like, how have you made it?
Oh my God, that's a great question. See, I'm not putting him on the idiot because I love him. I'd love to have a Nando's with Bez. I would love to have a Nando's with Bez.
What would you talk about?
Oh, we'd talk about everything. Everything, I'm certain, man.
You surprised me somewhat.
Gave us a little
What
stare.
idiot would I like to have an idiot Nando's with?
Nando's with Dabo.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Speak a bit
yeah.
of French.
We haven't heard of him since.
Speak a bit of French.
I would go Josh Reed. He plays 45 minutes. You never hear of him ever again. What's he done with himself?
You'd have to search for him for a bit to find him.
Yeah, granted.
I
Go
think
back.
I think Toby Saving would be a good one because I want to see if he drops the plates when they're handed to him. Like that. You know what I mean? He dropped the food everywhere. Philip Martial would just take it in one pour like that and bring it down. Actually,
Right.
no, I know who I'd have.
Oh,
Marlon Bell.
yes.
That's who
There
I'd
it is.
have Nando's with.
Far too much airtime.
No.
Again,
He was in goal yesterday.
Can we just throw something in there? He was doing the warm-ups for the shooters.
Do you know why? Do you actually know why? I found out.
Tay was injured.
Tay got
presumably.
injured, and that was why Chem Campbell was warming up because he actually was in the squad.
He did
And we
bring
didn't
it
think
on.
to use him.
Oh,
No.
Great. That's maybe. Oh,
even more frustrating now.
Yeah.
you're telling me I had to watch. Right.
For goodness sake. Honestly, why did he get announced? But Beresford diving around culture cannons left and right. And
Yeah.
centre in the
There's
wall.
a few that went to the top corner. He just stood there and went, yeah, all right, I'll leave that one alone.
I remember him just rifling a left peg, hit a shot past Philip Marshall in goal in the
Be
wall.
honest, he's giving Tay a run for his money. Come on. He's giving Tay for his money.
Hang on, why did Marlon just go as backup goalkeeper? Why have we not done that one on Saturday?
Yeah, set piece coach while on the bench.
Oh,
Just subbed
mate.
on into the game.
Could you imagine we've got no goalkeepers and Marlon has to go in for like 10 minutes? That would be so funny. That would be brilliant. With Dan Sweeney, the Sween dog would have to take the goal kicks.
That would actually just sum us up as a club.
I love it, mate. But that's who I'd have my Nando's with. I want to get to know him a bit more, you know?
Oh, and I know yours. Nando's with Banfield.
Yeah. I'd love to, not even like out of like, just because of like the joke we've got within the group. I'd actually just love to pick his brains about football and like just listen to his stories about stuff. So he must have some unbelievable stories.
One of those interesting characters, isn't he?
Yeah.
He is,
Like, why do you wear shorts in the middle of December when it's like -1?
Well, I'd ask some of our supporters that, to be fair and all. To be honest,
Capita.
I've seen a few with their shorts in the away end. away at
Yeah.
Barnsley, in Jan.
Per capita, we actually have the weirdest fan base, don't we?
We do. We do.
Headed up by us three, no less.
Well, no, when you're doing instant reactions in the industrial car park, I think that makes it even
Oh,
more.
that was a bit of a wreck, wasn't it?
Seagulls. Good watch though, good 400 views at the minute, pretty much.
I've sent it to a few of my mates, and they're going, "We're definitely watching this." I was like, "I got head loss big time." They're like, "We're definitely now watching this." I was like, "Great."
And losing his mind in the instant reaction. Harvey White, he's useless.
This is that. When we win,
I've never said that, have I? I've never said he's a bad player. I've just questioned the output he puts into the game.
And the thing is, when we win on the instant reaction, you don't mutter a word.
Yeah. So I've got a
That's the
question.
thing.
Do you think Harvey's a good player?
I think on his day, when he's
On his
confident,
day? What does that even mean?
well,
His day.
we
his
said
birthday?
like we've said it. He doesn't look like a player that's full of confidence right now. When he's full of confidence, like he was at the start of the season, or in a way, perfect example. He pulled the strings that game. He ran the game. Brilliant, fantastic. Where's that been since? When was the last time we saw Harvey Wright run a game of football?
Yeah. He's not really a runner half, is he? He doesn't run games.
No, but like
He's been too inconsistent, hasn't he? Because he needs a game that suits him.
First 3 months
he
of the season, he was amazing.
he dictated the game at Orient from what I remember of it. He was all over it. He was making good passes. He was progressing. Now I'm looking at him going, he's making 5-yard passes sideways and backwards.
I think with Harvey, and I don't want to come across like I'm really, really sticking up for Harvey, because by the way, I love Harvey. I think Harvey's great. I think he was so brilliant for those opening 3 months, like to the point where a lot of people were having him as their player of the season and like in their team of the season for League One. I think it's so difficult to consistently stay at that level throughout the whole part of the season. I think Harv's just been one of those examples of how difficult it is to consistently stay at that level throughout the season, and he's just not at that level.
To be honest, though, Harvey White, a technically gifted player in midfield, since he's joined, he's come into a side that most would argue is one of the most physical sides in the league.
Oh, yeah.
That jump, is hard to make. It's really hard to facilitate that. And the fact of how many matches he's played, how many games he's played, and how well he started the season, in that respect, you're cutting some slack. Because that transition is really hard to make.
And also, by the way, as well, that I'll throw in, I also think it's Alex Revell's job as manager to identify that.
Yeah.
Because, look, players want to play, right? As a player, you want to start, you want to get that nod on a Friday night or whenever they get the nod to know that they're playing, right? That's not Harvey's fault. But if Harv just isn't performing to the levels that we saw of Harv at the start of the season, it's for Alex Revell to play other players and play Louis Thompson.
Yeah, as you said, he's got to identify that. He's got to change it.
Exactly. So, but no, look, obviously Harv is, and he's so technically gifted. I mean, look at the free kick yesterday, dead ball scenarios, and so.
Here's a question for you both.
Go on.
Right, this got chucked in one of the group chats last night. If Harvey White wasn't left-footed, would he be where he is right now?
Oh, I guess that's like saying if my auntie had bollocks, she'd be my uncle.
But my point being, if he is right-footed, is he any different to a Jake Forster-Caskey of old or a Jordan Houghton? Do you know what I mean? He's very similar.
I don't actually know how to answer that, really.
I don't think you showed that early season quality without being a really good, technically gifted player.
Yeah.
I know he's had a real lull, but he had that insane start to the season.
And also, our other midfield players have got better. Dan Phillips has massively improved over the course.
Yeah, Dan Phillips was completely out of the team at the start of the season, wasn't he?
So you've got that as well. Again, we'll get into the bit about Louis Thompson being on the bench and stuff like that. But yeah, other players have improved around him as well, and I think that's difficult for him. But right, let's get into it, boys. I just want to skip it really, and then just look ahead to the big game against Stockport. In my opinion,
do we actually have to truly talk about this and dissect it, or can we just?
Should we give it
a quick bypass?
Should we have a podcast speaking about food? and like films and music.
Have you tried the Tony's chocolate, by the way?
Oh yeah, with the big letters on the front.
Yeah.
I've tried that.
I got a bar the other night and I tried a bit. I was like, oh my God, this is unbelievable.
Why don't we make a section? We make another section for
I'll tell you what, end of the pod, this is what we're doing. Right? End of the pod. And you're going to pick your favourite main. Luca, you're going to pick your favourite starter, and I'm going to pick my favourite dessert. Bosh. End of the pod. So have a think while it goes on. There you go. Something to get sink your teeth into. There we go. Right, Borough fans, obviously, we had our 32nd Sky Bet League One match of the most important season in the 25-26 season. Away at Wycombe Wanderers on Saturday. Prior to it, we were coming off the back of back-to-back wins for the first time since October when we went top of the league after Luton. And we kind of looked at this game as a good opportunity for the team to get a result and keep that form going. And unfortunately, it didn't go like that at all. We lost 3-1 at Wycombe Wanderers on Saturday. Jamie Reid, big goal Reedy, getting another goal for us in the 49th minute. That now takes Jamie Reid to 10 goals this season, another double-figured season for big goal Reedy. I'm going to go through the lineups, guys, the statistics, and there is a lot to dissect in this match. Alex Revs shaped the team up in that 3-5-2 formation that we've seen recently. That's kind of been the catalyst to help us get back winning games and picking up points. There was a lot of changes to the shape in this game, and we did not end in the 3-5-2 as it was changed quite soon on in this match. But the way that we did line up, we had Jasper Pattenden at right wing back. Philip Marshall, obviously, in between the sticks. Jasper Pattenden at right wing back in place of Luther Wilding, who picked up a knock in the win at Port Vale or against Port Vale on Tuesday night. At the back three, Charlie Good, Dan Sweeney and Lewis Freestow, with Saxon Early keeping his place at left wing back. The midfield was Jordan Houghton and Harvey White as the pair, with Dan Phillips in the 10, and leading the lineup was Matty Phillips and a big goal, Jamie Reid. On the bench, Tashby Hammond, but he did pick up an injury in the warm-ups, which meant Chem Campbell was promoted to the bench, who was actually out of the squad to start. We had Dan Kemp, Bez Labala, Phoenix Patterson, Cole Pigiani, Jordan Roberts, and Louis Thompson. My God, look at that bench. The statistics for this 3-1 loss, we had 44% possession. We had a total of 11 shots in the game with 3 on target. We had 20 touches in the opposition box. Philip Marshall had 2 saves to make. We won 26 aerial duels. We committed 8 fouls and we had 4 corners in the match. And distribution stats, we made 342 passes. We had a pass accuracy of 66%. We made 63 backward passes, 162 forward passes, 99 long balls, 60 successful final third passes, and 14 total crosses in the match. And there was 1 booking apiece for either side in this game. Now, in the instant reaction, I think I called it a car crash of errors. Oh my God. I mean, we can pinpoint individual errors. Of course we can. When you look at, the goals that we conceded, Dan Sweeney, bless him, he won't be happy with that one at all. Or, the first goal that we conceded, with the line being incredibly high, getting caught over the top with a simple ball. Even the third goal, giving him too much space, and it was individual errors. But I think a car crash in terms of the kind of managerial choices as well, reverting to different shapes, changing the shape on 3 to 4 occasions. It just seemed like we panicked in this one when we were behind in this game. And when you look and you compared it to Michael Duff, who made simple changes, didn't change much to the shape, it won them the game. And I felt that we just made a massive meal of this one. Really poor first half. Of course, the second half, we dominated in that 25-minute period. And it looked like we were going to go on and win the game after Reedy got the equaliser. But again, individual errors in the game cost us the game, along with, yeah, I thought some poor decisions in game, which I think cost us the game as well. And I'll come to you first because I know you've got quite a bit to say, and I'm going to get Luca in on as well. Disappointing to lose in this one, and obviously the manner that we lost in as well. It was, it was a bit of a bad day at the office for this team, wasn't it?
Yeah, but we've had one too many of them. And, we sit here and go, mistakes happen, errors happen. That's fine. And that's completely normal because everyone is human. But we're seeing too many of the same mistakes repeated. And that's now where my concern is because we're seeing the same things happen over and over again. And it's like we're not learning. And at what point do we sit here and go, where are we going to sit there and go, actually, we're not learning from our mistakes. We're not learning from where things have gone wrong. We're not looking at where we've gone, where we've done something really well and going, right, how can we implement that in a different system? Or how can we implement that in this game? We looked lost yesterday. It looked like 11 people that had never met each other before, thrown together 30 minutes before kickoff, gone, go and play football. Good luck. That's what it looked like. You had Charlie Good and Dan Sweeney and Jasper Pattenden all trying to blame each other for their own mistakes. Accountability. I said it yesterday. Revs doesn't really take accountability. He finally came out and went, "Yeah, I've got the system wrong." But we've been saying he's got the system wrong for weeks.
This is the thing though, because we're sitting there, us three, on the sideline in the away end, and during the game we're pinpointing the errors from the beginning. Yeah. We're seeing these errors. We're seeing the changes in formation. We're seeing the poor substitutions. We're seeing it. They're not learning from it, and that's the really big main issue for me.
But how many times have I said in the last however many weeks? Under no circumstances am I or you or you, Farley, an A licensed UEFA coach. We're not. We're not. And we're seeing these things going on, going, why are we allowing these things to continue? Why are these continued patterns happening? Is it to an extent where Revs is being stubborn and going, nope, this is my way, this is how we're going to play, crack on? Is it Banfield is our management group, whether it's Scotty or whether it's Neil or whoever else behind the scenes going, or analysts going, Revs, I think we need to do this because this is how they play, and Revs is going, nope. Or is it because everyone's just going quiet and letting Revs do his own thing? We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but we've got to have something where it looks like we've learned. And I said it yesterday. We played Huddersfield, and everyone, oh my God, that's a great win. They were really poor. They were really poor. If you play Huddersfield on their top day, they went and beat Barnsley yesterday. God knows how many goals to one. I don't know the score. I didn't look at it.
2-1, 3-1. It was
2-1, but they came back from 1-0 down, potentially two. I think they could have. I think Barnsley might have had a goal ruled out, but they came back. Huddersfield were poor, and if we play Huddersfield on their top day, they would put us to bed. The amount of mistakes we're making. Jasper Patton comes straight back in at right wing back, and everyone's going, "Oh no, it's all right. Jasper's a good player." That's all well and good, but he's not played since Barnsley. Now, if he was fit in the lead up to this game, i.e., the Port Vale game, the Huddersfield game, and whatever game we had before then, bring him on, get him match fit and match sharp. You saw it yesterday, he lacked his sharpness. How many times did he get caught out? How many times did Sweens or Good have to cover for him? And how many times did he then... little things like that. It's just little things like that. I'm sitting there going, we're seeing it as fans. We're seeing it as fans, and we're not on the side of the pitch. We can't influence the game, but the people that can influence the game, I can't see the same issues that we're seeing.
Yeah,
I think for me, you look at the midfield. If you're going to play Jordan Houghton and Harvey White are so similar. One's right-footed, one's left-footed. You can't play both of them together unless you want to have one sitting and one doing 8. if you're going to play 3-5-2, you have one of them and then you have a Louis Thompson next to him because you need someone who can get forward and help support the attack. It just didn't make sense from the start. And then Saxon gets the injury, which is unfortunate because I think Saxon's been brilliant the last however many weeks he's played.
Yeah, he's been great. He started really well as well, I thought.
And then you bring Jordan Roberts on when we're playing a system that has wingers. You've got Phoenix Patterson, who we paid a lot of money for, sat on the bench.
Yeah.
He is probably one of the best wingers in the division. And in the box, you would have had Jamie Reid and Matt Phillips target. You're telling me Jordan Roberts can put in better crosses than Phoenix Patterson towards Matt Phillips?
To Dan Kemp and Jamie Reid, as it was.
Yeah. And I think...
sorry. It gets better because you put Jordan Roberts on the right wing. Jordan Roberts, if you're going to play him on the wing, needs to go on the left. Has to go on the left. It's the most logical thing to do because he can get to the left and then he can whip the ball in. If he's on the right, every defender knows what he's going to do. He's going to get to the byline, cut back and use his left foot because he doesn't use his right. I don't play football to a top level. I've never done it. I played, kids football when I was growing up. I play six-a-side. I know if I'm playing against Jordan Roberts, make him use his right foot. Every defender will know it. And then you see him on the left at the start of the second half. What does he do? Drives at a player, commits a man, uses his left foot, gets the ball in. Doesn't quite fall to feet. One of those ones.
Yeah.
And then you bring Phoenix Patterson on with 15 minutes to go, expecting him to just create something against Wycombe, who are sitting there going 2-1 up. We're Kushta here. We can see this one through. Let alone the keeper going down 4 times with supposed cramp. That's another story. That is another story. You bring Phoenix Patterson onto the pitch and we start going long ball to get into the final third quicker.
Yeah.
And you've taken our only presence on the top half in the final third off the pitch.
Yeah.
Where does that make sense? Because we're sitting there going, he's taking Matt Phillips off. And there's people going, oh, we have to manage him. No, we don't. He's a professional footballer. I said it earlier. I said it on one of the group chats earlier. He is a professional footballer. Before he left Oxford, he played 60 minutes and then they released him. Right? And then he's trained. So he therefore has to be somewhat fit. He'll train, 4 or 5 times a week, depending on if we've got a midweek match, if we've only got Saturday to Saturday. You'll train 4 to 5 times a week, potentially. Right? Depending if for example, I can tell you, my mate who's at Barnet, they played yesterday. The gaffer had them in for training today. They'll probably get Wednesday off. So that's 4 or 5 days training. So it was Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. 5 days training. Right? You're telling me he's not fit?
Yeah.
Of course he's going to be fit. He has to be fit. Otherwise, he wouldn't be playing a game of football.
If he gets 65 minutes, he should be able to do nothing.
I think the thing for me, boys, and it goes along with Andy's point, and I think, look, we're disappointed to lose this game, of course, because we just had 2 massive wins that got us back into that part of the table where we know we belong in, right? And you looked at this game as a decent little opportunity to get another result because we know Stockport this week at home, although we're at home and the home form's amazing, it's going to be a really tough game before we will really hit a really winnable patch in March. But I think what disappointed me, 2 things. Number one, we said it off the pod, and we've said it in WhatsApp chats there, and I fully believe this. I don't think Alex Revs knows his strongest 11. I just don't. I don't.
He had the majority of that squad for a season and a half.
I know. I don't. And I'll tell you why I don't think he knows his strongest 11. I took one look. I remember when the team news come out yesterday, and I took a look at the bench, and then I had a look at the bench when they were warming up, and even at half time. That bench was a disgrace. That bench should never be that strong. You have got all of those players on that bench, and I'll go through them. Pidge, Louis Thompson, Phoenix Patterson, Dan Kemp, and then eventually Chem Campbell because Tay got injured. All of those players should pretty much be starting in the game. Right? I know there might be one of those players that don't start given maybe the system, but all of those players should be starting. To have every single one of those players on the bench was a disaster. And I don't think Revs knows he's I don't think he knows he's starting 11 because as a manager, you know you're 11, or if you don't know you're 11, you know your strongest core of you have your core of your side. And knowing that Pidge was left out, knowing that Louis Thompson was left out, Chem Campbell wasn't even in the side before Tay got injured. What is going on there? I'm not so certain he knows he's 11, Revs. I don't. And I think yesterday was evident of that. Don't get me wrong, it's difficult because, and this is where I do give Revs a massive credit, because the squad he created in the summer was fantastic. And we've got a lot of squad depth and everyone's available. And that is an issue, right? But I still don't know if he really knows his strongest 11, because I took one look at that bench yesterday and thought, oh my goodness. I think everyone did. Everyone went, Jesus Christ, have you seen our bench? I've never seen it that strong before. And that's how you know. For me, he got the personnel wrong in that game yesterday. All of them should have been playing. Louis Thompson should have been playing. Phoenix Patterson, got to play him more. I mean, holy Lord, we paid money for him. He's one of the most talented players in our squad. Has to play. Dan Kemp, what is going on? Why isn't he playing? Why is he not playing regularly? Has to play. Like, Chem Campbell's another. Has to play. It was all wrong for me. And I thought we showed our inexperience. We panicked. We changed shape loads of times. It was like we got it completely wrong. And don't get me wrong, again, the players weren't good enough yesterday, and they have to take accountability for those errors, of course. But I thought it was just a car crash, personally.
Looking back on yesterday, obviously we had to adapt the system to fit the change for sacks, right? Bringing on Jordan Roberts that soon into a game, for me, personally, has a negative impact. You bring Jordan Roberts on in the 75th minute, you're going to get a positive impact because you would have had someone running at him, whether it be Phoenix, whether it be Chem, whether it be Reedy, because he played at left wing for God knows, for however long.
That was the other thing as well, the personnel in certain areas. I mean, what's Reedy doing at left wing?
Right. You've say we had them three running at a fullback for 70 odd minutes and you go and bring Jordan Roberts on. That must be a defender's worst nightmare. Genuinely. It's not even like it's I don't know. You've been torn. You've had Phoenix Patterson, for example, right? Say Phoenix starts a game and he plays 70 minutes. He tortures a right back or a left back, turns him inside out. You then take him off and you bring on Jordan Roberts, who's just going to be physical. A defender must be sitting there going, when's my respite coming? When do I get a break?
I agree. I think, and again, it was the personnel in certain areas. When you saw Jamie Reid go left wing, you're thinking, what are we doing? And it was just, honestly, it was all. Luca, I know you've done your reaction a little bit. What was your take on it, mate?
I think there's so much to dissect, probably too much to dissect. And that's the first issue for me. I think that for some reason our games are too eventful. And I don't know why this happened. I think that obviously I said it in my reaction that we are making mistakes and not learning from them, not evolving, not adapting. And that's something you have to do. That is something you just have to do. And for me, there were so many errors in terms of, I think, management at fault, players were at fault, but there was also individual errors as well. And I just think, for me, this season, a main issue for me that's brought us down this season has been decision-making. And it's been decision-making all over the park. Because, for me, I start with it again. How can you leave Dan Kemp on the bench in a game like that? How can you leave him on the bench?
Yeah.
Most technically gifted player we have at the club, one of the most technically gifted players in the league. He comes on, makes an immediate impact. He did it at Huddersfield. He did it yesterday. And I just don't understand it, because you're setting yourself up for failure as well. Why is Carl Piagiani on the bench when you in a game where you need leadership, you need organisation? After, yes, two home wins, but against two poor sides on their day, on that day that we played them.
Yeah.
You know, you still, away from home, pre-game, we have lost 5 in a row, and we have conceded 3 goals in each of the 3 prior. You need some organisation at home. Who do you put in there? You put Carl Piagiani in there. You know, you don't, in a game like that, you do not captain Lewis Freestone, who deserves the captaincy in the future, definitely. But do it against Port Vale. Do it against a side that's struggling on confidence, not a Wycombe side that have intensity in their play. They have a manager who knows what he's doing. They have a manager who knows his squad, knows his changes, knows how to impact a game with his substitutions. Do it in a game like that. Do it in a game against Port Vale. I just think that, honestly, for me, we're set up for failure from the start. The formation was right, because the 3-5-2, we believe in it, and it is the formation that is the one to take us to success. But there's a lot of ways you can implement that 3-5-2. It was too defensive for me. I know you've got that back 5, but you have to match Wycombe. You can't, I think Saxon Early has been brilliant. You can't drop him. But it's a game where you need a Kemp, you need a Campbell, you need a Phoenix, you need something like that. You need a spark. As Anne said, if you start Phoenix, you give him 70 minutes, then you put Jordan Roberts on as that different utility on the wing. Give them something to think about, you know, because you look at the 11 we've put, the formation we've put, we know we're going to be conceding the ball. And we know Wycombe will be dominating the ball and will be on the back foot, which we were in that first half. And then, just for me, I agree about, obviously, Sax's injury is really unfortunate, definitely. And he's been absolutely amazing. But yeah, bringing Jordan Roberts on, I would have brought Kemp on, I would have brought Chem on, I would have brought Phoenix on over him. It's just it's that quality you need in a game. You need that spark. We didn't have a spark in that team whatsoever. And, you know, it just goes back, because we went back to the 4-2-3-1, and then we went to the 4-3-3 as well.
Yeah,
and you're just going, what is happening? And then the substitutions as well in the second half. I just thought, you've got to have an impact. You want your substitutions to make an impact to the game. And unfortunately, if you're bringing on, I think the only substitution I really agreed with in the timing was Kemp. I would have done it earlier. I would have started him, but you bring him on at half time. That's what you do. You do that.
Because the thing is as well, like, the thing that I'm disappointed with, right, is that obviously we're not happy to lose a game again, and, you know, no one wants to lose, right? But it's not the loss, right? You lose games in League One. We've lost 10 of them now, right? But, thankfully, we've won 13 of them and drawn 9. But
it's the way you lose the game.
Yeah, like my point is, you lose games. The thing that disappointed me was the lack of identifying which players should be playing, because we sit there and we see who should be playing when you've got players like Dan Kemp on the bench and Louis Thompson. And I think just the thing that frustrates me a little bit is, or a little bit too much, is just identifying players that should be playing that aren't. And it's so frustrating. And I can't imagine how frustrating it is for Kemp, how frustrating it is for Phoenix, how frustrating it is for Chem Campbell and Louis Thompson that these players don't play regularly. And I tell you what will happen, we'll end up losing them. We will lose them.
How in a game like that, when we've lost 5 on the spin away, can you not start Carl Bigiani? I do not get it.
And also, with Pidge, right, we know Pidge is so dominant, right? He's so dominant. He is such a dominant player at the back. And okay, there's been a couple of games over the last month where he hasn't been at his best and we haven't seen the best of Pidge, and that's okay. But you've got to have faith in your captain. You've got to have faith in your dominant player, because you keep playing Pidge, he's going to eventually get back to playing, you know, the Cole Pidgiani that we all know, right? But to drop him, not just for 1 game, for 2, for 3, I think that's poor management. I really do. And you know what? We talk about what message does that send to the side. I'm not so sure that's a good message. Okay, you drop Pidge for a game after Barnsley, that's fair. That's fair, right? But to drop him for a couple, you drop your captain, you drop your dominant defender, your dominant player at the back, the guy that is your linchpin almost of the spine of your squad. Oh, that was poor.
What I don't get though is if you're bringing the likes of Patson, Campbell, Kemp into your squad, you are portraying yourself as a manager that is going to play on the front foot, a manager that's going to play attractive football, and a manager that's going to play the ball to the feet of your creators, your creative players. And you're saying that I can accommodate these players, I can put faith in them and give them the minutes and the style of play they need. And if you're bringing those players into the squad, you can't just bench them. You can't if they're not playing well and they're not playing to your style. I'm sorry, these players aren't for our style, because you've got to play a style that suits them as well. They are the creative players. They are the players that create the chances that we need to score goals.
Imagine those three behind Matt Phillips. If you were going to play a 4-2-3-1, you had Kemp, Chem, Phoenix, and Matt Phillips through the middle.
Why
You're telling me we wouldn't create and score goals? You must be joking.
I think, right, and I love him. I really do. And by the way, creating this top half League One side as we've done, he's done an unbelievable job, Revs. But I think I said to you boys off the pod, although it's his third season, right, and actually around this is the time where you'd like to see him really progress. And I still think next season he will. Still think that Revs shows a bit of inexperience still, right? I think when you look at how many times that we've got the system wrong in the past couple of months, the personnel choices, the substitutions, the in-game management, I still think he shows signs of inexperience. And I think with Alex Revell, it's going to be one of these things where you've got two options. You either don't stick by him and you get another manager in of a certain caliber that's going to have your team competitive and winning games, or you stick by him, which is the second option, and you go through a couple of seasons like this season, maybe like next season, but when he starts to evolve as a manager in those things that I think somewhat he's still quite inexperienced at the minute, he'll be a really, really top manager. And it's whether you stick with it or you don't. Because I think with Revs, I think he's still in that inexperienced phase at the minute, because I think he does certain things in games, certain decisions, the way that we shape up in certain games, his decisions with who's on the bench and who's starting.
Reactionary.
It's not proactiveness, it's reactionary. It's getting certain things wrong. Taking Matt Phillips off, taking Dan, those certain types of in-game decisions. I think he still shows a lack of experience in, and I think that was evident yesterday.
Here's something for you two. Yeah. We obviously played at home on Tuesday night. Wycombe played at Exeter. In that first half, we looked sluggish and we looked slow. Wycombe had to travel to Exeter on a Tuesday night, and they looked on it. They had a spark, they had a tempo. We only had a tempo once Dan Kemp came on. We were so slow and we said it's sitting there. You watch Wycombe move the ball, it was quick, it was purposeful. Yeah. You watch us move the ball, and some of our midfield players, Jordan Howe, Harvey White, namely, wanted a good 5-10 seconds on the ball.
They have an identity. We don't have an away approach at the moment, and that's the bottom line.
Just be hard to beat, for God's sake. Set up, go right, bang. Here's your big lads at the back. Dan Phillips in the middle of the park. Louis Thompson next to him to win the niggly fouls, do the dirty work. Jordan Houghton to play the ball. And then you go up and you have Matt Phillips up top. I mean, God forbid, taking Dan Phillips off and replacing him with Louis Thompson, you may as well have gone end the game now, ref. Otherwise, it's going to be a bloodbath.
I know it's obviously in the distant past, but you remember some of the the really gritty away performances under Steve Evans, where you'd go away from home. You'd come with intensity. You would play with intensity. You'd get the goal, and then you'd be solid in shape, in formation. You'd get the personnel right, but you'd know what players would start because the players that start are assigned to the style that you play, and that's what you have to do.
But that's my point about I don't think he knows his strongest 11 because as a manager, like let's take Steve Evans, for example, in the promotion season. You knew what the team was.
Yeah.
You didn't have to look at the starting 11 to get a good idea of what the team was. You knew when everyone was fit, you knew what that starting 11 was. You knew you were going to see Gilby, Reeves and Roberts. You knew you were going to see Reedy with either Noz or Day. You knew what the team was, right? Even the first season in League One, you knew what that was.
This is what we're saying. We're always talking about this season.
Yeah.
Every single episode we always have this issue where we talk about players replacing certain players in certain positions. And whilst that's good, whilst that's keeping the squad competitive and it shows our depth, it exposes weaknesses we have.
Yeah.
Because if you've got players chopping and changing every single week, then that's not good in some respects.
And that's it. Like I feel with this season again, I think he's done an unbelievable job creating this top half League One side, but I still don't think knows his 11. I don't think, when the team news, when we're 1 minute from the team news, right? We don't know what it's going to be. It's, we get this team, we're a bit like, what's he going to go with today? And that shouldn't be the case. Okay, you'll have certain players that will play in a game and certain players won't.
Think how many times he went unchanged early in the season.
You should know what your strongest 11 is. Here's a question, actually. When was the last time we had an unchanged 11? When was it? This season? Was it at the start? In that
must have been in the 10 games.
It must have been.
Here's a question for you. Right, Revs under Evans saw Jordan Roberts playing in the 10. And he saw how well it worked. Why do we consistently play Roberts as a winger when you can see he's a number 10?
What I don't get is we watch these players every match day. The coaches see them every day, see them training, see how they are. They should know their positions and their know-how inside out.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
Revs saw it under Evans for a year and a bit. Roberts in the 10. And you saw how more effective he was on a game.
We haven't seen it once. That's all.
Can you give me a game where Jordan Roberts has played to the same, if not better level than what he did under Evans?
No. There's only been...
Since he's been moved out to a winger.
There's been one game this season where we saw Jordan Roberts play in a partnership with Harry Cornick against Peterborough, and he was brilliant. He was brilliant that day.
But that's what Jordan Roberts does best.
Yeah, it's a central role where he's either in the 10 or he's either up top. If you see Jordan Roberts in that role, he'll be brilliant, but he keeps putting him on the right wing whenever he plays. Again, I think this comes down to the fact that he doesn't know he's stronger. He just doesn't. Because nobody watching that game yesterday can take one look at the bench and go, perfect. Everyone looked at that bench and went, what? Why are all of those
it tells you shouldn't have a bench where you look at virtually every player on that bench and go, I would have started them.
Well, the thing is, with bench players, obviously you want your bench good, right? Obviously. But you know, if your bench is that good, you better hope that
you're almost waiting for the
start 11's better. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
It was that good that I thought, Jesus Lord! I mean, they should all be starting those players. No, I again, it goes down to my point. I don't think he knows his strongest 11. I don't. He's squad depth, but
another question for you both.
Go on, last one. Go on.
When was Harvey White and Charlie Goode's last game where you actually went, they've been unbelievable. When was their last game like that for us?
I would probably say the last time that they both simultaneously played brilliant was probably Cardiff away.
So
New
nearly
Year.
2 months ago.
Yeah, New Year's, I'd say.
Yeah,
I
Oh,
think
to be fair, Luton, they were good at Luton.
Charlie Good he was outstanding at the start of the season. I think he's dropped his level. He hasn't been poor. I think he's been solid. He's had solid performances. He hasn't had outstanding performances. But we have taken a different, obviously, approach to that because of how good he was at the start of the season. I mean, that's what it is for me.
And again, it goes with the Harvey White thing. Charlie Good has been so brilliant and so put in a performance and solid, as you say, Luca. Again, I think it's very difficult consistently to stay at that level. Now, Goody's more of a top League One player, so you would expect him to.
Well, exactly. When they start the season so well, you have high expectations of them.
Exactly. And as we know, in this league, it's difficult to consistently play like that.
Yeah.
I think it's a fair point as well, because obviously, Goody is of that creme de la creme as we have, as those, top level League One players, etc. But no, I think it's a fair point. It was a bad day at the office. It means that we have got 13 wins, 9 draws, 10 defeats, 35. No, hang on.
Who was your man of the match, by the way?
Lewis Freestone.
Dan Phillips or Lewis Freestone.
Yeah, one of them two.
Freestone, I thought.
And I'll tell you what, I'll hold my hand. I made a bit of mistake yesterday on the instant reaction for their third goal, thinking Freestone backed away. Watching it back, Freestone went to close them down. Freestone put his body on the line trying to block the shot, and Charlie Goo,
I thought it was poor from
who's played a Premier League level, backed away from a shot.
Yeah.
You're a defender, put your body on the line, man.
Yeah. That's a fair point. It's a fair point. 13 wins, 9 draws, 10 defeats, 35 goals. It is 35 goals scored and 34 goals conceded, 48 points and 8th place. Boys, we'll quickly take a look at the league. We will quickly go through the fixtures because there are a couple of fixture blocks this week. There's games Tuesday night as well. So bottom 4, Port Vale, Rotherham, Northampton, Wigan in League One from 20th to 12th. Burton, Leyton Orient, Blackpool, Doncaster, Mansfield, Barnsley, Exeter, Wimbledon and Peterborough from 11th to 7th. Plymouth, Luton, Wycombe, our team in there at 8th. Anne's going to hate me for saying this, but I'm so proud. 8th place. 7th is Reading and the top 6 is Huddersfield, Bradford, Stockport, Bolton, Lincoln and Cardiff. The matches for this week in League One, there are games on Tuesday night. There is Bradford City v Rotherham, Burton v Stockport. So Stockport have to play on Tuesday night when we play them Saturday. And it is Northampton versus Port Vale. What a game that is on Tuesday night. And on Saturday, we play Stockport at home. What a game that is for our team. Wow. To end February before the last 2 months of the season, which is unbelievable. But the matches are Leyton Orient v Barnsley, Northampton v Peterborough, Doncaster v Cardiff, Exeter v Bolton, Lincoln v Blackpool, Mansfield v Wimbledon, Port Vale v Luton, Reading v Bradford, Rotherham v Plymouth, Wigan v Huddersfield, and Wycombe versus Burton Albion. A big week of games. And the league table is shaping up incredibly, really quickly. Before we look ahead, lads, what are we making of the table? I mean, we're still 4 points adrift with 2 games in hand. Win those 2 games in hand, we go in. We're level with Reading and Luton let in a last-second goal on Saturday, meaning that we stayed 8th. Really quickly, lads, just before we look ahead to Stockport, what are we making of the league?
It's such a poor league. It's such a poor league, and that's the bottom line.
Isn't it? It's so...
everyone beats everyone. There isn't a few weeks where you go, there's a team in the area of the table that you would go, they're quality week in, week out. There just isn't a team. There isn't a team, and that's the thing. There was always an opportunity, even after a loss, to look at the table and go, we've still got a chance. And even after the 2 home wins, which were really good and got us back on track in some way, you look back at our form and you go, we should not be in the position we are based on our form. And as poor as that is, you still have to look at the table and go, we are still in a great position. So you have to take it game by game, and you have to take it based on how the other teams are performing as well. It's just about keeping ahead of the curve. But you've got to, at some point in the end of this season, get some consistency. And for me, it's the team that gets that consistency at the right time.
Yeah.
I think that if we can do that, that would be brilliant. If we can, that we can replicate those 2 home wins, in a certain part of next few weeks, next few months. If we can do that, we can get some form together, rediscover our form away from home. You could be the team. We could be the team. But it could easily be a Luton. It could be a Reading if they get a few wins together. It could be something like that. That is what this area of the table is like for me.
Yeah, incredibly open. And again, I'm so proud that, I'm so proud we're sitting there in 8th place and really joined 7th, really, aren't we, on the same amount of points. But yeah, it is so open. I think the automatics are pretty much done. I think Cardiff and Lincoln have run away with that. And then really from 3rd place all the way down to about 12th. I mean, it's incredible.
I do think it is a big issue that a lot of people talk about, the fact that a lot of people moan about us in terms of our league position, in terms of where we are. And then you get the counter argument of we're Stevenage. And that is a big counter argument, the fact that we are doing so well. But
this is why,
we know the quality of this squad. We know that we should be higher based on the season we've had and the start we've had and the squad we have.
Yeah.
We should be higher up.
Well, this is my point, right? Like, this is what I've been thinking today. I've been thinking, actually, if we've been overreacting a little bit, right? Because we're 8th, like we're 4 points from the playoffs with 2 games in hand. And, if someone would have offered me that at the start of the season, I would have been like, amazing. But the other caveat, and the caveat to that is, I agree. I think, right, and I'm going to put my neck on the line and say this. I think we have a top 6 squad, but I think we've been held back from that for a couple of things: lack of personnel around Jamie Reid and the lack of evolving with our system, and Revs getting things wrong in the game and setting us up in the wrong way. And I think we've been actually held back from a top 6 place, because I actually think the squad that we have is a top 6 squad.
Go count up all the draws and all the defeats against bottom half teams and add that onto our tally and where we be. And that's the thing.
That's how much I believe of the squad. Look, we're certainly a top half League One squad. That's what we created in the summer. But I actually think we're top 6, but I think we've just been held back in certain areas.
I was having a think earlier today and looking at League One over the years that we've been in it. The first year we came up, the only real big teams that are in it for me, the ones that you sit there and go, they're going to run away with it, were Derby and Portsmouth. Last year you had Birmingham and Wrexham, and you had Stockport in and around there as well. Didn't quite make it. This year, I've looked at it and gone, Cardiff, Stockport, Bolton if they get it right, Luton if they get it right, Plymouth, you don't really know what you're going to get from Plymouth.
Let's be honest, there is only probably, quality and consistency-wise, there's probably only 4 or 5 teams.
But again, that's my point, right? You look at it and go, there's always one team that you look at it in League One. This year for me, it's Cardiff. You sit there and go, they'll wipe the floor with this league. See you later. Playing them, you're going, you know what's going to happen, right? Saturday for them at Plymouth was a bit of a freak result, right? And teams will have moments against them, but they've got the quality to bounce back from that moment, and they'll go on and carry on progress. So for me, I'm sitting there going, looking at it, going, our squad is unbelievable.
Well, this is the thing, right? And I agree with you, Anne, because let's take Lincoln, for example, right? I think that's mental that they're second and they're 10 points clear, because let's call it how it is, right? Bolton, Huddersfield, Luton have been so bad that Lincoln are going to go up in second place or first place. Now, if those clubs would have actually been managed properly, recruited properly, you would have had Cardiff, Bolton, Huddersfield, Luton, all completely. But because they've been so poor, Lincoln are going to find themselves getting promoted. Do you know what I mean?
But you say that, but you look at Lincoln, and as much as everyone's going to sit there and go, "Oh, I bet Andy kills Andy says," I'm not sitting there going, "It's killing me." I'm sitting there going, "Fair play," because you've got a manager who can adapt to any system based on the game, can evolve the same system, can change a system in the game, and have the right personnel on the pitch to play the system that needs to win them the game.
Hmm.
So I'm sitting there going, on paper, Lincoln squad and our squad, I would say probably fairly even, bar, we might have one player that's slightly better than theirs. They might have one in certain positions. Right. I don't know Lincoln's squad inside out.
I agree with that. I actually think the only area that Lincoln really trump us is the final third.
Yeah.
I think it's quite competitive.
So you look at it, right? And then you go, what does Lincoln do that we don't? They don't. They adapt, they evolve, they change, they have the right personnel on to play the right system, and they all know what they're doing. You look at it and it's like, right, there's their pattern of play. That's their way to go.
They score goals.
You look at us and you sit there and go, where's our goal? Saturday, hit the crossbar, really follows it in. That's what every good striker should do.
I said this to you, Farley, on the last episode. They're a very well coached team, but in all areas of the pitch.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. That's the difference.
I agree. Go on, answer.
You look back to the Port Vale game. Dan Phillips's goal fell to him fortuitously on the edge of the area. He hit the ball, takes a deflection, goes in. How does Harry Cornick get his ball? Ball over the top. He makes the run, puts his body on the line, gets the goal. You're telling me that if you sat here right now and went, "What's our way of playing and getting us a goal?" You wouldn't have a clue because you don't see it. You don't see it. It's normally hit coming off rebounds or second balls.
Mm-hmm.
I sit there and I would watch Lincoln go, all right, so he's going to get the ball. He'll make the run. There'll be an overlap there. They'll put one player on the front post, one player at the back, and a couple in the middle.
Yeah,
This is what you go back to about the clear identity.
Yeah. I call it having a route to goal. Every team's got their route to goal.
Yeah.
And with us, sometimes you struggle. But honestly, I really am going to stick my neck on the line. That's how much I believe in our squad. I think we have a top 6 squad, but I think the way that it's been managed and set up has held us back from being there. Because if you're shy by 4 points, right, and you've only scored 35 goals the way that we've done, suggests to me that actually the squad is of that level, but it's being held back.
This is why next season's so important, because it's a showcase of whether you've learned from the mistakes of this season, I think.
Well, I think next season is our biggest, because the goal next season is going to be to stay a top half League One team. If you want to become a top half League One team, you have that first season where you do it, but that second season of doing it is the most important. You can do it again and you can evolve and create and adapt and do it again. You're establishing yourself there every season. So I think next season, in terms of staying a top half League One team and being where we want to be, crucial next season. I really do. And this is why I think the last 40 matches of this one's really important, because we want to be able to provide that. Do you know what I
mean? Seeing the impact Matt Phillips has had coming into this squad in the 3 games that he's played, albeit 65 minutes in each bloody game, making me want to rip my hair out. Do you go and try and sign him for next season?
Yeah, I would, potentially. I mean, it really does depend, doesn't it? I think in the summer, there's going to be more opportunities to sign more players. So it might come a thing where we get to the summer, we might look, maybe Matty Phillips was just a now sort of signing when we were out of options. He's 34. We might get to the summer, there might be younger, better strikers at the time to be able to get, but it would certainly be an alternative.
But would you have him as an option, even if we do get that striker? Definitely.
You have to.
And by the way, Revs did make a point. We nearly signed him for playing as an attacking wide player as well, didn't he? He did say that in his interview. But obviously, the lack of personnel we have in the final third, he's been deployed as a striker, which I actually really like, personally.
Well, that's my point. You sit there and you go, well, he can play on the wing, he can play through the middle, and you look at all the other teams in this league, and they have got a player that has played top-end championship, if not in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Most clubs have got that player. And you look at us before we had him, and you went, who's that player that's gone and played in the top level?
Yeah, mate.
It's just top-end League One experience, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Because we know Jamie Reid, right? And by the way, I'm over the moon that Reid into double figures now. I think that's huge for him. And again, next season, hopefully, Reid can really improve, and we can see that. But yeah, for me, it's having that personnel like a Matty Phillips in the final third. So I think in the summer, it's a good alternative. Really quickly, before we move on to Stockport, idiot, and I want it in lighten up the mood.
Sorry, hang on.
Come on.
Let me get that one.
Idiot 11.
Are we ready?
Let's do it.
Remy Ote.
Oh, Remy Ote. I quite like Remy Ote.
He was useless.
Don't you love our pre-match yesterday? The only thing we really did was list the idiots.
That was elite, by the way.
Next week's one is one for the listeners, I tell you.
Generational.
What, next week's?
Oh yeah.
Really?
I think I know who you might be.
Go on. Yeah. Have a guess.
Oh no, I've got to keep up here.
I'll tell you what, next week and the week after, I'm sitting there going, yeah. They fit the mold massively.
Idiots 11. I love this concept. This is so good. I wonder who the idiots are going to be next season. I love them. I really do.
We've got
there's always one.
Always one in there. Remy Ote. And I love that. Well done on the idiots 11.
Remy Ote.
I love that. Right, come on in, chat. Come on. I'm so excited for Saturday. What a game. 8th place v 4th. We host Stockport. This is a massive game for our team. Obviously, we beat Stockport away. It was our best and season-defining win this season. That 3-1 back in December. It was fantastic when Louis Thompson scored to put us 3-1 up and kept us 4th and 5th around that time.
You not knowing what to do when he was in front of you.
Oh, it was brilliant.
That was great on the video.
Yeah, Matt Farley down the front, tapping him on the shoulder.
On the EFL highlights.
Remember it very well with a bobble hat on. That bobble hat, honestly, that bobble hat's a dream. But a massive match for our team. And, I think for me, fellas, look, this Saturday against Stockport, let's play to that top League One level. We know at home, with the right system and the right personnel, we're very effective. We've only lost once at home this whole season, and that was narrowly to Cardiff with 6 minutes to go, and we deserved a point that night. So I think for me, Saturday, look, it's a really tough game. I think a point would be a great result for us. I think it's really important to get a result, whether that's a draw or hopefully a win would be unbelievable. But what I would say, win this game. Now that, unlike Huddersfield, that is a season-changing win. You beat a team like Stockport, who are one of the best. I don't think Huddersfield are one of the best. I thought they were shocking.
The problem is you can see us having a really, really good home performance and the result this Saturday. You can see it because we've proved
would
it.
That paper over the cracks, though?
This is the thing.
We go to Burton.
It needs to show.
Yeah, exactly.
And
that's my point.
For me, it needs to show that we're learning from mistakes and we're learning from what's happened previously. It needs to be carried into away form.
Yeah, and I agree. So I think for us in this home match, vital to get that system right, vital to get the personnel right. We know when we do that at home, we're very effective. We beat teams, we dominate teams, and we get results. So I think for me, crucial to do that. The question I've got for you boys, we've adopted and we've deployed this 3-5-2, right, over the past 3 to 4 matches. But do we actually go in exactly the same setup that we did against Stockport away with a 4-2-3-1, play Phoenix, play Kemp or Roberts and play Reed or Phillips. Do we do that?
Yeah, 100%.
Do it.
100%.
Interesting. Because then, as we said earlier, you've got Phoenix playing, you've got Chen playing, you've got Kemp playing, do you know what I mean?
What are we losing if we try that? What are we losing? Because if it's worked, don't change it. And if you saw that it worked so well away to them, try it again.
Because my point is, the 3-5-2's our style, right? That's the system that we have evolved to play, and because you have to in this league to get you picking up points and winning games again, right? And playing well and being competitive. But it doesn't mean that you have to play every game. You can revert, set up against teams the way that you need to set up in. Don't just set up because you've previously set up and it's worked for you here. So, if there is a game where you could play a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3, do it. You don't have to play 3-5-2 every game. That's our new style. But if it does suit certain games against certain other teams, you can set up in a different way. And I think
one thing to do, get the personnel right. And that is the big thing.
Get Pidge back in, please.
Get the big players back in, because we need them.
Stockport, Phillips, Louis Thompson.
Well, let's look at Stockport, right? They're a good side. Ollie Norwood, Olafe, Carl Wooten, Mothersill. They've got some top players. We need the big players. Louis Thompson, Pidge needs to play. You need Dan Phillips potentially. You need Jordan Houghton. It goes back.
Would we look in that 4-2-3-1 with that? Back four can pick itself. You've got Dan Phillips, you put Louis Thompson back in, you get Dan Kemp, you get Phoenix Patterson, Chem Campbell, and Jamie Reid.
Yeah, 100%. But we, like I said earlier, in these games against these other top teams, you have to play your strongest 11, or you have to get 80 to 90% of your strongest 11 in the side. You have to. So I think the important thing for me about this game, if you get that right, and you get the personnel and you get the system right, I'm actually confident that we can.
As you say, Farley, if you pick them and you pick the right players, they will do it. They will do it for you.
Have faith in your team. Again, you do not win 8 games out of 10. You do not win 8 games out of 10 and go top of the league the amount of times we've done if you're not a top team in this division. You just don't do it. Don't beat them away 3-1 and play the way that we did at Cardiff and Huddersfield. Do you know what I mean? So we know we have the squad for it. Be brave and play it. Boys, the Stevenage Football Club podcast prediction competition.
Let's just bypass this week.
No, let's not, and let's not, because next week's episode we're going to be predicting March, so that's going to be fun. Wycombe, me and Luca went 1-0 wins, and went for a 0-0. So And gets 1 point. Me and Luca get 2 because we got half a prediction correct.
Come on, the goals.
The table at the minute, I am on 20 points. And is on 21 points. And Luca is on 24 points. So quite competitive across the board, all in the 20s. For Stockport, Luca went for a 2-1 Stockport win. And went for a 3-1 Stockport win. And I went for a 1-1.
It's very negative for you, Farley.
I know. Can I change that to 2-1?
No.
You don't truly believe it, though, do you?
No. As I said earlier, I'm sticking by my team. I believe in them.
Another one of those 8-0s.
13 wins from 32 means that we pretty much won half our matches. We know our level. I believe in every single one of these players. And we're going to
pre-match, it'll be 10-0. It'll be 10-0 pre-match.
Oh, yeah, you'll wake up to a text Saturday morning at midnight. It's match day, 10-0 today. That's what I'll wake up to, and I'll go, yeah.
Do you love the way? Do you love the way it's on the hour as well? No lateness.
Literally, I'm literally like, all right, I'll go to sleep. Wake up the next morning. I see a text. It says, It says Farley's name, and I'm like, I know exactly what this
It's
is.
match.
I don't even have to open it. I just know what it is.
And then do you know what he gets, Luca? You know what he gets? He gets it's match day, and then he gets the match day graphics then.
Despite the fact that I've literally seen it about 30 seconds before. I'm like,
It's
yeah.
pronto on command. He does. That's what he gets.
You get the notification that Stevenage put a tweet out. Click on it. Match day graphic.
Yeah.
Notification. Matt Farley.
Yeah.
And it's the link to the Twitter.
Yeah. Oh boy. I wait for those match day graphics. I want to see which players are on them to know who started. You know what happened? Chem Campbell will be on this one, will it, from the away match? We'll go, he started.
He's free.
He's still alive.
He's alive.
Oh my God, he exists. Yeah, that'll be funny, wouldn't it? But those are the predictions. Borough fans, if you want to join in with the competition, please send yours and we'll get you in. Boys, we did get one question in, and we're going to read it out. Let me just get it up because he is a valid supporter of the Stevenage Football Club podcast.
What, Harvey?
Yeah. Will you get that Andy Blair off? No,
lose all stupidity from this podcast.
I love it. This was Rich. Go on, Rich. Up the Rich. Rich said, what do you guys think about this is a formation in a 4-3-3 setup for against Stockport? Philippe Martial, or as we like to call him, Philippe Martial, the silent T.
No, solely you.
Sorry. Philip Marshall in between the sticks. Luther right. Oh, no. Excuse me. Luther right back. Gooden Pidge, Freestone at left back. Then he's got Dan Phillips, Louis Thompson, Dan Kemp. And then I'm guessing the forward three is Phoenix, Chem Campbell, and Matty Phillips. What do you make about that?
Probably not standard 4-3-3 because you got Kempy in there, but I think the 4-2-3-1 because it has structure to it, doesn't it? And you've seen that it works against Stockport in the reverse fixture. I think you go with that, to be honest.
Yeah, I do too. I think 4-2-3-1, given that we beat them 3-1 away in that system. Yeah, and then it accommodates for Phoenix and Chem as well, and Kempy. So I like it though. I like the idea, and you got width in that as well. And what's your favourite main? Or hang on, or should we start with starter? Should we start with
starter?
Luca, what's your favourite starter?
Well, I mean, what type of restaurant we're building?
Any. Let's say you're on death row and you're having your last meal and you've got to pick a starter.
Oh,
that separates the boys from the men, this one does.
Dough balls.
Garlic butter.
Yes.
Oh, it's a great shot, actually. That's a great.
The Pizza Express ones are unbelievable, by the way.
Have to have garlic. Have to.
Dough balls. Okay, dough balls for Luca. And what's yours?
I would go roast beef or roast pork. With all the trimmings.
Oh, roast dinner. That is, that is my wedding food at the wedding. So,
what roast is it?
I think. Do you know what?
Chicken or gammon or something.
I can't actually remember now. To be honest with you, is it beef? Oh no, I think it's beef.
Ooh,
it is roast beef.
It's done well. That's unbelievable.
And every table's got a carver, so I'm expecting big things in the camos.
No, you're asking the wrong fella.
And will chop his hand off.
Yeah,
handless Andy. He'll be killed.
Genuinely, the last week at work,
one hand out.
There's a story to that, Luca. Genuinely, the last week at work,
I've rattled him now.
No, right, for Luca's sake, because I don't think he knew about this at the time. About this time last year, I broke my elbow, so I was in a sling. So for Reading away, Farley came and picked me up, and I'm there in a sling, and we got the nickname of One Hand And.
One
hand, yeah. Although, and I'll be honest, camos non-negotiable for me.
They're not coming to the wedding. They won't work with a suit.
Not non-negotiable, in my opinion.
They could be there for maybe the next day or the day before, whatever. They
I'll
don't.
be honest.
How about what if they're there for the stag?
Yeah, the Stevenage football team League One stag, camos, non-negotiable, in my
They'll
opinion.
be there for the stag.
Brilliant.
On the instant reaction.
Oh my God. Can we get someone to like literally just tilt the camera down and just inspect the camera?
When you're talking, it's not your face. It's
yeah, that's true. I'm going to go for my pudding. Oh no, I love puddings.
This could ruin the meal.
A bar of cheesecake. No, I'm joking. I'm going to go for Stevenage football team League One cheesecake.
You're an idiot. Absolute idiot.
A top half
Descended
League
into
One cheesecake.
Descended into chaos when we get to the main part of the meal, the pudding.
Oh God. No, do you know what? I'll go for what did I have a couple of weeks ago? That tapas restaurant. I'll go for a Biscoff cheesecake with cream.
I knew you were going to say Biscoff.
Either that or a traditional New York cheesecake. I think that's what I'll go for.
What are your thoughts on sticky toffee pudding?
I love it. Sticky toffee, great. I'll tell you what else I like. Banoffee pie as well. I like banoffee. Yeah, I do. Yeah. That chat.
Face.
He's done, Anthony. He's done. Chaps, I think we've covered it. Have we missed anything? Does anyone want to add anything?
Please win and show me effort.
Please win. Oh,
please let me see a midfield of Dan Phillips and Louis Thompson.
Oh God, we're going to get the most. You think the instant reaction was bold on the one we just done? If we do not get a result, this instant reaction outside the North is going to be just the biggest load of.
It's time to go.
It's time to go.
When will it end, Robbie? When will it end, blood?
Yeah. Well, we have to take into consideration it has been raining.
That'll be me. Teams.
That'll be me. It's raining for both teams. Oh, I don't know. Well, look, chaps, good fun. Fingers crossed for Saturday. Let's go and get a result. I'm sticking by them. Every single one of those players, I'm with them. Brian fans, thank you so much for tuning in to episode number 43 on the Stevenage Football Club podcast for season 7. We'll be back next Sunday reacting to hopefully that big result against Stockport. Again, I'm sticking by them. They're going to do it. And then we'll be looking ahead to 2 months and a week left of this huge season before the preparations for the big one next season. Stay tuned for all the content this week. Make sure to give us a follow, like, and a subscribe on YouTube. Also, give us a follow, a like, a subscribe on all the audibles, such as Spotify. And stay tuned for all the content on social media this week. Again, you can follow us on Twitter at TSFC Podcast. Guys, have a fantastic week, and we will see you next Saturday for the big game against Stockport. At this time, as always, guys, you've been listening to the Stevenage Football Club podcast.